will your ex lost feelings if you go no contact? If you're about to go no contact, or if you're going through no contact at the moment, you have to watch this video, because I'm going to explain the situations where your ex might lose feelings, the process if you want to get back with your ex, if you want to end up in a win-win situation. I will explain this framework at the end. Jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So first of all, yes, sometimes it happens. Sometimes your ex will lose feelings, or your ex might lose feelings for you if you go no contact. And there are cases, and I'll list them, the criteria and the factors, if your ex don't feel that they're missing anything from the relationship. They're happy being alone or with that new partner, and they feel like, have no FOMO, have no fear of missing out on that person, on you. Maybe their love was not genuine. Maybe you were really into them and it was not something mutual, and therefore this no contact helps them to move on, helps them to sort of find another partner, for example. You were together for a very short time. If you go no contact and you've been together for 3 or 6 months, then the no contact might be very, very dangerous, because again, that would create a dynamic of, okay, I don't need that person anymore. I can bounce back very quickly. The shorter the relationship, the easier it is to bounce back. It's very common sense, but some people tell me, they tell me, we've been together for 3 months, and they describe the situation, and I tell them, you can try no contact, you can try my strategies, but usually they don't necessarily work, because what we are doing is leveraging the history, leveraging the feelings that you had with that person. So if the relationship didn't matter for your ex, it's going to be very easy, and going no contact will make it even easier for them to move on. If you're not sure whether your relationship was something that we could call a relationship that matters, or what I like to call a life-defining relationship, take the quiz, it's free. I put together a quiz for you to know if you have any chance of getting back with your ex. The link is in the description. Again, the thing that I described before is that I don't help people to fall in love. That's not my job. I don't know how to do it. What I do is that remove the blockers, remove the barriers that prevents people from working together as a team when they're in love. And so very often my clients will describe their breakup as, or what their ex would tell them, it's not working, or maybe they got hurt for some reason or disappointed. But usually people break up, they are still in love. And all of my clients, that's the case. And these cases are the case that you can recover. It's not easy, it's not fast necessarily, because it takes time, but it's doable. And it's very important. I really want to emphasize on that. If you're trying to recover a relationship where your ex doesn't have feelings for you, when you know it's been months and years of sort of the relationship deteriorating, the relationship sort of the chemistry fading away, the feelings also from your side, you became sort of flatmates and not lovers anymore, and it's been like years, it's going to be very hard, because that person has lost feelings for you before the breakup. But as I said, and I see and studies have shown that people take 2 years on average to move on after a serious relationship. So don't think that by going no contact, by disappearing for a couple of weeks, couple of months, your ex will lose feelings, because their feelings were there when they broke up with you. And yes, of course, at some point, your ex will lose feelings for you. As I said, 2 years, studies have shown that in 2 years, people really move on, really forget their ex. And the study is about married couples, but so we can assume that married couples are serious relationship. But also understand that, everyone move on at some stage. Even if you've been in love, madly in love, and this breakup was a shock, at some stage in your life, you will move on. The pain, the emotions will fade away. There's a natural, what I would call emotional cleansing. At some stage, the emotion linked, the pain, the resentment linked to the relationship will fade away. And you'll see your relationship, you'll see your memories with nostalgia, but it's not going to be that painful. That's what you're feeling right now, what you're experiencing right now. And my job, some clients want to move on, some clients want to forget the ex, is finding ways and tools. As a therapist, I help them to find ways and tools to build resilience, to move forward and to detach from the relationship, because sometimes people, it takes them a long time, a very long time, years to move on. But they always move on, always. And that's why I think it's okay at some stage, and I will describe why, to reach out. Because you don't want to risk getting in touch while they're already in the process of, okay, I think now my new normal is being without you, and I'm okay if you're not around. So I think it's just finding the right balance, and let me explain a little bit what I mean by that. Something you need to understand is that people break up out of fear, not out of love. Very often people, they still have feelings, as I discussed, and the reason they break up is because they assume that their life will be easier. They have this, for example, a fear of commitment. If they avoid it, then they assume that the life will be easier if they're alone, for example, and that this new chapter will be easy. And when you go no contact, you kind of remove the fear. You remove the conflict. When you are fighting consistently with your partner, if you don't have the fight anymore, then what's left of the relationship is the good aspect, is the chemistry, is the sort of the memories, your laugh, your time spent together, all those things. You know, if you remove the painful events, if you remove the resentment, there's only, and that's why it's very important to assess the strength of the relationship, because otherwise no contact won't work. And by going no contact, their perception of the relationship will change. And this happens all the time. It's not specific to attachment theory, to their character, to their traits, to the history. It's really, if you go no contact, if you let your partner reflect, if you let also yourself reflect, their perception of the relationship will change. Your perception of the relationship also will change. And the assumptions that you both did, i.e., he's the one I need, he's on a pedestal or she's on a pedestal, and for them, I don't want this person, will be more balanced. So after a breakup, I often do this with my hands. After a breakup, the dumper feels like superior and the dumpy feels like this. The idea of the contact is to rebalance things out. Feelings fade away when they accept it's over, when they accept actually this decision is definitive. And there's always, again, for the couples where they have a high score on the quiz, there's always a phase of trying again. It's not to say that this will always work, but there's always a phase of contact. Always a phase, if you put yourself in your ex's shoes, if they were happy with you, if they had feelings for you, they would be curious to know, they would be curious to assess whether their decision was the best for them. And sometimes it's okay to make the first move. Sometimes it's okay to break the ice and assess whether your ex is in that mindset of, okay, let me assess what's best for me. You have to put your ego on the side, and I know a lot of people say, I need to go no contact forever. The danger with that, as I discussed before, if you go no contact forever, you don't even open the door to potential reconciliation at some stage. So do what works. Put your ego on the side, do what works. Let me explain the concept of win-win that I borrowed from, and I think he borrowed this concept from someone else, from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. When you negotiate, when you are trying to get a deal with someone, you have 4 types of resolution, 4 types of outcome. Win-win, which is what we want to do right now. Lose-lose is like the deal doesn't work for both of us. And then you have win-lose or lose-win. I win, you lose. Right now you feel like we're in a lose-win. I'm losing, he's winning or she's winning. She or he decided to end the relationship. Again, we have this sort of they feel better without me, therefore I'm not good enough to be in a relationship with that person. So this is how we feel right now. I'm losing, he or she is winning. And you're suffering, so we are trying to assess if we can get back together. That's the first point, is really trying to assess if you can get back together and whether it's a good idea. I can't answer this question, but you have also to ask yourself this question. You have to gain clarity if you want to move from lose-win to win-win, right? Because right now they win, you lose. Let me explain. Your ex misses you. Again, I'm going to repeat that very often. If your relationship mattered, your ex has to miss you. Otherwise, you're not important in their life. So, in a way, at some stage, when you remove the resentment, when you remove the fights, when you remove the fear that we discussed before, they would want to reconnect. They would want to know whether they made the right decision. They would miss the connection with you and understand whether they could be living happily ever after, if it ever exists. So the question is, of course, and it's I think it's the majority of the cases of my clients, is that there's always a situation, there's always a time where your ex will try to reconnect, try to assess things. If, for example, you break no contact and you see that your ex is not responsive, your ex is not really keen, doesn't seem interested, then you might be feeling, I've tried something, I took a lot of risk, and I still end up in a lose-win. So first case, you reconnect, you build up intimacy, gradually you end up together, win-win, everybody's happy. And everybody's happy because you are creating a new relationship on new foundations, on new terms that would work for both of you. Now, second case, you reconnect, it's not working. Your ex is not keen, your ex doesn't want to rekindle things, doesn't want to reconsider things. They don't want to challenge their belief system around the relationship. For example, if they're avoidant, they feel they have no problem. I'm okay being on my own, I'm okay not being able to commit with any relationship. And I don't want to change. If your ex doesn't miss you, if your ex doesn't want to reconcile, yes, of course you still have feelings. Yes, of course you love that person. Yes, of course you want to rescue this relationship. But if the person you love doesn't have feelings for you, where you feel it's not mutual, if you walk away from this relationship, you also end up in a win-win. Because you don't want to be in a relationship, you don't want to be creating a relationship where you're not on the same terms, on the same page with your partner. It's very hard to hear. It's not exactly what you want to achieve right now when you watch those videos. Is you want to make it work, you want to fight, you want to reconnect because, yes, you love that person. But reflect for a second. If that person doesn't want to make the effort, doesn't want to challenge themselves, doesn't want to do the work, i.e. what you're doing right now, then it's not going to be a good relationship. And you will be in a lose-win again. Because you will be sort of trying something while your partner wants. And you will always be like this. And that's not what you want. So letting go of this, accepting that it's not going to work because the feelings are not mutual, it's not going to work because in a way your values or the way you see relationship differs, and there's no way for them apparently to reconcile. If you've done the work, if you've seen a therapist, if you learn about attachment style, for example, and you've tried your best, trust me, it's going to feel way, way better. You're going to feel way, way better. It's going to be easier for you to move forward, to move on, and accept that it's a win-win. In the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he explains no deal could be a win-win because nobody is losing. And in that case, that's one of the scenarios. Getting back together or not getting back together, it's a win-win. The situation you're in is a lose-win. and you have to get out of this situation. You're gonna trust the process. Contact me if you have any question. Obviously, I'm here for you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.